Right now at 5, St. Louis city leaders promise emergency system changes after firing a top official.
And we are going to be warm and dry over the next couple of days. We'll have a look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, details on a plane crash in Grove, Oklahoma.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
All right, Chris Warner, it is Thursday, August the 21st. Happy Thursday, everyone. Almost to the end of the weekend. Got the kids back to school yesterday. That's why I wasn't here yesterday morning. And it wasn't as chaotic as I was expecting it to be. I know that first day of school, anywhere, there's confusion, there's some chaos, but it actually went really well. Even the pickup process went really well. Wonderful. So that's good. Yeah. And the weather today, also going to go really well for us. We're going to start with a live look outside downtown Pittsburgh. And there you can see we've got clear skies starting the day off just right across the region. In fact, I went out this morning, and it was cool. And that hasn't happened in a while. It wasn't warm, it wasn't muggy, it wasn't already feeling uncomfortable at 2:30 a.m. It was all right. So not bad. Not bad at all. That was, of course, MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline. Future track, not much out there. We'll have a few passing clouds. I know it is showing those little green splotches. Pay no attention to those. They don't mean anything for us, at least for the next couple of days, before we might get some slight pop-up storm chances, which we'll discuss with you a little later. All right, we are sitting at 69 in Joplin, 68 in Pittsburgh, so doing pretty good. In fact, a little below average in some locations. Not that that's a bad thing. In fact, we should be, again, about 69, 70. So we've got some locations right at that mark. The rest of us, upper 60s. A very nice, pleasant start to the day. Kids getting on the bus. It's going to be pretty darn good as well. We're looking at clear skies this morning, upper 60s, mid 80s by lunch and recess time. Just a few clouds here and there. Same when the bus brings them home, but a little warmer, about 90. That's where our highs are headed today, right about the low 90s, right on par for where we should be. We'll have clear skies initially. We'll see just a few clouds heading into the afternoon, upper 70s by 9, mid 80s by noon, and again, highs today into the low 90s with a northeast breeze at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. So a pretty nice day. Now, it's still a bit on the muggy side. Our heat index values might approach the mid-90s, but nothing too extreme, which is also good. As I mentioned, though, we do have some rain chances heading into the weekend, start of next week. We'll go over those details with you in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks. Well, the city of St. Louis has fired Emergency Management Commissioner Sarah Russell following an investigation into the city's response to the May 16th tornado. The report cited multiple failures, including a breakdown in communication that resulted in warning sirens never sounding. City leaders now promise changes to ensure the system works when it's needed most. Federal authorities began an investigation into a plane crash in Grove, Oklahoma yesterday morning. The crash happened around 8:30 at the Grove Regional Airport. Although the investigation is underway, what authorities do know is a private plane landed at the airport and flipped over onto its top. The owner and pilot of the fixed-wing single-engine plane suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Well, a man suffering from a rare infection has died in a St. Louis area hospital. Recently, we brought you the story of a Missouri resident who had contracted a brain infection typically caused by an amoeba. Public health officials investigating the source of the patient's exposure believe the infection could have come from water skiing at the Lake of the Ozarks. While infections remain rare, experts say the amoeba can be found in warm freshwater across the United States. The Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services confirms the man died yesterday. Clean up your yard or the city will do it for you and you'll be picking up the tab. That's the new warning from city officials in Iola, Kansas, who say they're fed up with the repeat offenders ignoring yard cleanup rules. As KOAM's Lonnie Walton reports, after handling out fine after fine with little change, city leaders are now pushing for tougher ordinances, one that would allow them to step in, clean up the mess, and send the bill straight to the homeowner.
Most of the stuff that's in the yard is not trash. We just need to find a place to put it.
Robin Evans is an Iowa resident. She says she's been getting a number of violations from the city about her yard. But Evans says she's going through some tough times.
We lost our shop last year. We moved everything from our house to our shop, and the building got bulldozed last year.
Evans says she's sick of the city giving her a hard time about her yard, but the city says they are too. They say they already have an ordinance in place, but it needs to be stricter.
We're adding to the ordinance a clause that will give the city the authority to go on the property and clean it up should the resident not comply with the court order.
I get that we need to clean up the trash. I understand that.
French says the offending resident will fit the bill if the city cleans their yard. And French says you better pay or else.
The debt will go on the property.
City manager Matt Ryder says this ordinance needs to pass.
We do have some properties that get fined and fined and fined, and they just aren't being cleaned up. And this gives us the teeth to actually do that.
Request an additional 10 days if they need it to clean up their property. So we're trying to continue to work with individuals.
They have been harassing us for 8 years since we moved here. Any little thing that we have on our property, they are constantly sending us letters. If he has his trailer in the yard, he gets a letter for it.
And the family says they're doing all that they can to get things back in order. They say any professional that's willing to help, they would gladly appreciate it. Reporting in Iola, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Now, the city manager says the ordinance goes before the council on Monday. He thinks the bill will have no problems passing. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Hurricane Erin brings tropical storm conditions to Virginia and North Carolina. Plus, KU football fans get a completely reinvented game day experience at Memorial Stadium. And warm and sunny conditions. Chris has another look at today's forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Time now, 5:06. We'll be right back. Well, topping Nation Watch this morning, Hurricane Erin is churning by North Carolina and Virginia, threatening residents with dangerous waves and winds topping 110 miles per hour. The storm is not expected to make landfall, but the governor of North Carolina has declared a state of emergency, warning that conditions can deteriorate quickly. CBS News' Jared Hill has more from New York.
Waves thrash the North Carolina coast as Hurricane Erin approaches, creating tropical storm conditions today in North Carolina and Virginia.
What does that mean? Incredibly dangerous riptides, very strong surf, and of course tidal flooding.
The massive Category 2 storm is hundreds of miles from shore, but with mandatory evacuation orders in effect, parts of the Outer Banks aren't taking any chances.
It's a serious storm, and conditions can deteriorate quickly.
Still, some North Carolina residents say they're staying put.
I've lived here almost 40 years. I've never evacuated. Not yet.
Hundreds of beaches along the East Coast are closed to swimmers, with waves expected to reach as high as 20 feet. A surf competition in Virginia was canceled, but that didn't stop some of these guys from hitting the water.
This is our favorite time of year because we actually get waves.
Erosion is also a big concern as the ocean creeps further inland. Some folks in New Jersey say they think the coast is more resilient now, nearly 13 years since Superstorm Sandy devastated the region.
Prior to Sandy, there were large boulders, if you will. They cemented all the stones and they built this. So there's a really nice barrier between the ocean and our homes.
Hurricane Erin is expected to strengthen later today, then weaken as Friday rolls in. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
Well, some areas along the East Coast, like Philadelphia, are also bracing for scattered thunderstorms that have nothing to do with the hurricane. The National Weather Service says those storms could also bring heavy rain and flash flooding to parts of the eastern and south central U.S. Well, still to come, KU Athletics transforms Memorial Stadium into what officials call a future home field advantage. Plus, Chris has another look at your Thursday forecast. Well, fans headed to Lawrence, Kansas this fall can expect more than just football on game day. With major upgrades to David Booth Memorial Stadium, KU is blending tradition with transformation. Michaela Dia reports.
Another way to view it is that notion of not a bad seat in the house.
With phase 1 of the project complete, KU football has reinvented its game day experience while honoring its past. Plus, there will be lots of new concessions, plus new seat backs for fans to enjoy.
There's a personal story, I think, that was written with this venue in the thoughtfulness, talking about our history, talking about the things that make the University of Kansas unique and special. And I think for all of us, Chancellor all the way through, there was that deeply embedded commitment to that.
I'm really excited and really proud as I walk through this new stadium and see the history of the University of Kansas. If you look in every corner, everywhere you turn your head, every concession stand, every suite, it talks about the history and the tradition that we have here at the university.
And when we have a chance to finish out that East, I think we're going to have created what we think will be one of the best home field environments, home field advantages in the country.
Well, officials say this is just the beginning with more upgrades planned. Let's take it over now to Chris for a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, I got a live look of the MoDOT camera, 20th and range line in Joplin, looking back to the north along range line. Looking good so far. In fact, our forecast over the next day or so looks pretty darn good. It'll be warm, but seasonably so. We've got a complete look at your forecast and some future rain chances when we come back. Time now is 5:16. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:18 on this Thursday morning. Starting with a live look downtown Pittsburgh, looking fantastic. New College of Business coming along quite nicely. Again, making very quick work of it. So site prep, I think, took the longest, and that building is really coming along nicely. MoDOT camera, 20th and range line. The intersection, I haven't been out there yet. At 15th and range line, it's coming along because the traffic light is active, and I'm sure it was probably went up yesterday when I was not here. But if you weren't aware, because I wasn't until this morning, that signal is back on. You want to make sure that you are prepared for that, because I know for the last 2 or 3 weeks it's been down and out. So it is back. Future track. Well, it's got some clouds. That's really about it. And that's not necessarily a bad thing by any means. It just, we don't have any real rain chances out there for us today or tomorrow. We'll have calm winds overnight tonight. We head into Friday. We'll have a few clouds here and there. Shouldn't be too bad across the area. A lot of sunshine. We're going to be hot, but seasonably so. We should be still about the low 90s for our highs, right about 90. And that's where we're going to be as we head into the weekend, right into the low 90s. Now, again, it is still going to be a bit on the muggy side, so we'll have heat index values up there, but they're only going to be about the mid 90s or so. We're not looking at anything too wild or crazy. And then as we head into Saturday, that's where we get a little bit of a change. By Saturday afternoon, we start to go partly cloudy as we roll through the morning first half of the day, and then we get opportunities for some pop-up showers and storms. Now, right now on Future Track, it's not looking overly impressive, but at least those chances are there for a stray shower or storm. Again, otherwise, not much going on over the next few days, which is nice, because when I was here with you on Tuesday, boy, we had a lot of stuff going on Tuesday. Not so much for us today. Clear skies through the morning, low 70s by 8 a.m., mid 80s by 11, which again is better than being in the low 90s by 11 a.m. We'll have mostly clear skies today, a few clouds, highs right about 90. And a northeast breeze at around 5 to 10 miles an hour. As we roll into the evening and overnight hours, we will continue with mostly clear skies. Now, of course, the sunset still getting closer and closer to 8, but we'll still be warm, still into the upper 70s by 10. However, once we lose the heating of the day, we cool back down. Low mid 60s out there, just a few clouds, winds will be calm. So again, a pretty chilly night, considering, remember, we are still in August, so low mid 60s out there is pretty darn cool. All right, again, it's hot, but seasonably so over the next few days. Low 90s into the weekend. Pop-up storm chances, our overnight lows below normal. And then look at this business to start off next week. A nice break from the heat. We're going upper 80s by Sunday, upper 70s and some low 80s Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, some pop-up showers and storms, these lows into the 50s. It is going to feel cold for the last week of August. Again, not that that's a bad thing. Got a few more showers possible toward the end of next week, and temperatures remaining well below average. So a nice break from the heat and some pretty nice temperatures to go along with some rain chances as well. That's checking your forecast. We're going to send it over to Elise now with Health Watch.
All right, Chris, thanks. We'll end a break from current recommendations from the Centers for Disease Control. Another medical group says infants and young children should get COVID-19 vaccine shots. The American Academy of Pediatrics says all children 6 to 23 months should get vaccinated unless they have known allergies, and a single dose for some kids ages 2 to 18. Now this while the CDC argues COVID-19 shots for kids 6 months to 17 years should be based on shared clinical decision making. Well, a majority of teens with depression in the U.S. aren't receiving treatment. A University of Tennessee study found only 47% of adolescents aged 12 to 17 who had a major depressive episode say they got any kind of treatment. Black teens and teens living in rural areas had the lowest levels of mental health treatment. Well, eating more omega fatty acids could protect women against Alzheimer's disease. A King's College London study found women with Alzheimer's had lower levels of omega fatty acids than healthy women. Researchers say women should make sure they eat enough omega fatty acids either through fatty fish or supplements. This study also noted men didn't seem to get the same benefit. Experts say Americans are reading drastically less than they used to, and it's bad for our education and our health. A University of Florida study found daily reading for pleasure has dropped 40% over the last 20 years and could be due to the rise of digital media, less leisure time, and less access to books and libraries. Researchers say reading for pleasure supports mental health, empathy, creativity, and lifelong learning. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. Stick around. We'll be right back. Right now at 5:30, safety and schedules were a priority on the first day of classes for Joplin grade schoolers.
And we've got a pretty decent day out there. Some sunshine, warm temperatures. We'll have a look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, the Southeast Kansas community could soon lose its city-owned grocery store.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOA Morning News. It's 5:26. I'm Elise Noe.
I'm Chris Warner. It's also Thursday, August the 21st, and another beautiful day for us. Not too bad yesterday either. I mean, it's a bit warm, don't get me wrong, but it has been worse, so can't complain too much. And we can't complain too much with this live look from downtown Pittsburgh because it looks really nice this morning. In fact, the temperatures this morning a bit on the cool side, just a hair below average for some of us, so not too crazy cool, but definitely cooler than normal out there. MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line in Joplin looks good as well this morning. A few folks getting their Thursday commute underway, and the Future Track also looks good. Good is the word, not bird this time, but good is the word over the next couple of days. It's going to be hot, but seasonably hot for us, and so temperatures not getting too crazy. And while it's going to be a bit on the muggy side, we're not looking at 100 or greater heat index values either. We'll have a northeast breeze today, about 510, and otherwise looking like a pretty fantastic Thursday for us. A live look outside here, we've got 69 in Joplin, 68 right now in Pittsburgh. Bear in mind, average low is about 70. And we've got some locations, Neosho, Bentonville, Newata, Carthage. Again, a few locations right at 70. Most of us, though, into the upper 60s to start the day. So, again, a very nice start to the day, which also means kids getting on the bus this morning. Not bad. Upper 60s out there, clear skies. A few clouds by lunchtime, mid 80s. And by the time the bus brings them home, again, just a few clouds at about 90 degrees. So, again, hot, but seasonably hot. And 90 is about where our high is headed for today as well. Right about 90, again, maybe a degree or two higher or lower across the region. Upper 70s by 9, mid 80s by noon. And heat index values today, again, it's still a bit muggy, but we're looking at heat index values maybe about the mid 90s. So not crazy, but still a bit on the uncomfortable side. Our temperatures will remain seasonably hot over the next couple of days, and we get some rain chances. And then our temperatures, honestly, for the month of August, they plummeted. I mean, it's not a huge drop, but it is going to feel almost cold as we roll into the last week of August. We'll go over those details and, of course, talk about those rain chances with you here in just a few more minutes. Elise.
All right, thanks. Well, as the school year kicks off, students at George Nettles Elementary in Pittsburgh celebrated with the House of Dragon balloon popping party. The celebration is part of a redesign of the school's social, emotional, and character education program, drawing inspiration from the theme How to Train Your Dragon and Harry Potter. Now, the kids were full of excitement as they discovered which of the 4 houses they'll belong to during their time at the school. Educators hope the program will give students a sense of community throughout the year at George Nettles.
It's so intimidating, especially for my students who may not speak the same language. They get to come in, and on day one, they have a family, they have a house, they have community. And for all students that, starting a new school or a new school year with new classmates, that can be intimidating, but to know, oh, my family's got my back, my house has got my back.
Now, through the program, students will have the opportunity to form deeper connections as they'll be grouped with classmates from all grade levels. And Joplin Public Schools started this school year yesterday. KOAM's Ty Parks was at Soaring Heights Elementary when the doors opened yesterday morning and brings us the story.
Kind of exciting, kind of scary, mostly exciting.
The bell rings again at Soaring Heights Elementary and the students are back in class. All of this takes months of behind-the-scenes work.
Preparation for the first day is huge. So we start months in advance, planning out our master schedule, making sure that all students have equity to access and instruction. We also start setting goals together as a team to decide what we're going to focus on this year. And then the teachers start showing up several weeks in advance to prepare classrooms so that they're absolutely perfect learning environments for all of our kids.
Students file in, but today is about learning something different than math and science.
Today we are remembering what it means to be a student and that we have to share our building with over 500 people. So we're used to doing what we want when we want at home, but at school we have to remember that we have to share space. So today is all about remembering what our expectations at school to stay safe and to stay learning.
Teachers invest heavily in the future of their students.
So my teachers have leaned in very heavily into we want Soaring Heights students to be the leaders at East Middle School, and then we want them to be the leaders at the Joplin High School, and we want our kids to stay in Joplin and be community leaders in the future. So it is a big investment at our school.
Like a well-oiled machine.
My 5th year at Soaring Heights, and I have already had 5 teachers tell me this is our best first day ever, and it's not even midway through the day. So all of the practice paid off. Everybody feels very confident today.
I know people. You play games to get to know everyone and learn procedures and stuff.
At Soaring Heights, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
Now the students will continue to relearn what it takes to share the building with more than 500 students. Then the classwork begins. And don't forget, you can always be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Get those severe weather updates sent straight to your phone free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. The KOAM Skywatch weather app. Well, South Middle School Principal Jacob Williams has been named the Southwest Missouri Middle School Principal of the Year by the Missouri Association of Secondary School Principals. Oh, in a quote, he shares, "I am truly humbled by this honor. If there's anything I've done to deserve recognition like this, the credit belongs to the incredible people I get to work with every day at South and across Joplin schools. It is a privilege to work alongside such talented, compassionate, and dedicated educators." And of course, to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. The future of a city-owned grocery store in Erie, Kansas is up in the air once again. The city purchased the Erie Market in 2020 with the goal of keeping a local store in town. 1 year ago, River Grocery LLC leased the store and took over operations, but staff have now been informed the company is going to cease operations by the end of August when River Groceries' 1 year lease with the city expires. Community members are now concerned about the future of the market and what it could mean for the area.
I guess if they have the money with the economy nowadays to drive to Schnute or Parsons to get groceries, then go for it. I don't. I'm on Social Security. I got hurt last year. I only have a little bit of money, so I try to do all my business in Erie.
We reached out to the owner of River Grocery LLC for a statement. He agreed, but we are still waiting for him to send one. Well, fun times at the 82nd Annual Lamar Free Fair. Patrons enjoyed the carnival and rides, a gospel sing, 4-H youth, the demonstrations, food trucks, and livestock shows. The schedule for the rest of the fair includes several events and exhibitions like a swine show, a Lamar Art League exhibition, a goat show, a youth livestock judging contest, and music from the Griffin family.
Just the food.
and seeing all my friends here. Not a big town, so not much people get out a lot, so it's fun to see everybody around.
There's no admission charge to get in, but ride tickets are available at the fair and can be also purchased for $20 at Community National Bank and Trust in Lamar, Arvis Bank, and Citizens Bank. The fair runs through Saturday night. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Gamers will pay more for Sony's PlayStation 5 starting today. Plus, a new kind of transportation is being tested off the Rhode Island coast. We'll have the latest. Time now, 5:35. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. In Consumer Watch, Google has unveiled its latest line of Pixel smartphones, smartwatch, and earbuds. The 4 new Pixel 10 models feature the company's most advanced artificial intelligence options to date. New features will improve users' ability to retrieve information, automatically create videos, and snap better photos. The new models range in price from $800 to $1,800. The Pixel 10 hit stores August 28th. And starting today, buying a Sony PlayStation 5 will be $50 pricier. The gaming console now costs $549.99 in the U.S., according to a company blog post. The digital edition is $499, and the PlayStation 5 Pro is $749.99. Sony cites a challenging economic environment as its reason for the price hike. And could this flying boat be the next big thing in travel? Regent Craft is testing its all-electric sea glider in the Narragansett Bay off the coast of Rhode Island. Well, the airplane boat hybrid glides at speeds up to 180 miles per hour using physics similar to pelicans and other birds that skim the water. The company says it expects the first generation of sea gliders to be delivered in 2027 to multiple countries for use of a coastal ferry service for goods and people. Regent Craft says it also has contracts with the U.S. Defense Department. And that's it for Consumer Watch this morning. Let's head over now to Chris for a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we're starting with a look outside downtown Pittsburgh. Things looking great this morning. Got another warm day out there ahead of us. We'll have a full look at your forecast when we come back. Time now, 5:39.
Well, how many farms in the U.S. are family owned? The answer in today's Ag Day Minute.
I'm Clinton Griffiths with today's Ag Day Minute. USDA's predictions of record corn yields could be cut by disease and weather pressures. Day 2 of the Pro Farmer Crop Tour finding both those issues are causing variability for crops checked in Indiana and Nebraska. Scouts pegging Nebraska's corn yields to be 3% higher over last year. For soybeans, a more than a 15% increase in yields. Meanwhile, Indiana's corn crop, it's also up more than 3% from a year ago, but soybeans could be more than 2% lower. Yield results for western Iowa and Illinois will be unveiled tonight during Crop Tour Live at 8 o'clock Central on agweb.com. Walmart is recalling frozen raw shrimp sold in 13 states. That's after federal health officials warned of potential radioactive contamination. The FDA asked Walmart to pull certain lots of Great Value brand frozen shrimp from stores after the agency detected potential contamination from a radioactive isotope. The 2022 Census of Agriculture report shows that family farms make up 95% of all U.S. farms. That means the farm is owned by the producers and individuals related to that producer. Large-scale family farms make up less than 4% of all U.S. farms, but produce more than half of the value of all ag products. Now, it's estimated there are 1.9 million farms in the U.S. For more ag news, watch Ag Day weekdays on the station or get updates over at agweb.com.
Let's take it over now to Chris for a full look at today's forecast.
Now we've got a pretty decent day lined up for us. It will be hot, but seasonably hot across the area. Live look downtown Pittsburgh. Skies are clear. Things look pretty good. And it's been on the cool side. Not significantly so, but a bit cool out there. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline in Joplin. A little blurry right now, but we got folks starting their day, getting that Thursday morning commute underway. And it's only 5:44 in the morning. All right, future track. Next couple of days, not much for it to show. We'll have a few clouds here and there as we head through our Thursday afternoon with a light northeast breeze. Winds will go calm overnight, so pretty nice evening, and it'll be chilly tonight, which we'll get to in just a moment. Then we head into our Friday. Again, mostly clear skies, a few clouds here and there. Otherwise, we remain dry. We'll have a light north breeze, nothing too crazy going on. By Saturday, though, we'll start to see partly cloudy skies building in through the morning and early afternoon hours, and that'll be ahead of some isolated pop-up storm chances. Unfortunately, most of us look to remain dry, but a few pop-up storms afternoon and through, let's say, maybe 6, 7 o'clock Saturday evening will be possible for some of us out there. We'll have clear skies through the morning, low 70s. Well, some kind of police activity out there. Low 70s to start the day, mid 80s by 11 o'clock this morning. As we head into the afternoon, again, just a few passing clouds. Our highs right about 90, so on par for average. And we could still get heat index values up to about the mid 90s. Still going to be a pinch muggy out there. Heading into the evening, again, until the sun goes down, we're still pretty warm. We'll eventually be back to the upper 70s by 10. And as we lose that daytime heating, that's what I was talking about. Look at that. Low to mid 60s tonight. Average low is about 69, 70 for this time of year, so below normal. As we roll into next week, we will have some opportunities for some additional pop-up to scattered showers and thunderstorms for Monday and Tuesday, possibly even into Wednesday. And remember, on the future track here, these green areas are just where rain could be, or the showers and storms could be. Doesn't necessarily mean it's rain everywhere all at once, but we'll at least have some chances as we head into the start of next week, which will also bring us below normal temperatures, way below normal temperatures, because even though this is hot, these are where average highs should be, into the low 90s. That continues through Saturday. Upper 80s, not that far off normal, but then we get that boundary, and that brings us those storm chances by Monday. Look at this, dropping into the upper 50s Sunday night in the Monday, and we've got upper 70s and low 80s to start next week. Which is absolutely wild how much cooler it is going to be in just a few days. Overnight lows well below normal as well, downright chilly for the last week of August. We'll stay into the upper 70s, low 80s through most of next week. Some additional rain chances toward the end of the week, and our overnight lows still pretty cool as well, into the low 60s. That's Check Your Forecast. We're going to send it over to Elise now with sports.
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, Carthage football is coming off a successful season, finishing with a 9-2 record and an appearance in the district championship game. The Tigers will look to repeat that success in 2025 with lots of new faces across the field. Now, only 2 starters return for Carthage on offense, but head coach John Guidy stresses that despite having 9 new starters, this Tiger squad will retain the same identity.
To be honest, last year was last year. This is a brand new year, and we have new faces, and that's what makes every year a little bit different. I don't think you change too much as a coach from year to year. You want to keep things as consistent as possible from everything, from your summer workouts to your summer practices to your conditioning to even scheme-wise, as long as things are working.
We don't think this will be an inexperienced Carthage football team because on the defensive side, 18 players with varsity experience return for 2025, and that's huge for a unit that allowed less than 18 points per game allowed last season, as the Tigers will heavily lean on their experience and their leadership.
Defensively, I think that starts with our guys up front. Landon Bland will be a 3-year starter for us at defensive end. Very athletic, nice, tall, lanky kid, fast, comes off the edge. Opposite him on the other side at defensive end is Braden Odell, kind of the same way. You know, I thought Braden had an outstanding year last year. All 3 linebackers are back. Josh Hill at Mike Backer. We got Jordan Brunert at the Sam, and we've got Jet Dalton at the Will.
The Carthage Tigers open up its season on August 29th at home against Waynesville. Well, the New Heights Cougars are entering their 4th year as a program with sights set on building off of a .500 season in 2024. But this year's team will look a lot different, with only 3 players on the roster in their junior or senior seasons. The Cougars are one of the youngest teams in the 4 states, and they'll have to learn fast. That's why head coach John Lucas is having his team focus on the fundamentals.
We're very young. This year we have 2 seniors, 1 junior, and the rest are sophomores and freshmen. So we're going to run basics. We need to be able to run the football, control the line of scrimmage, and that's an area of strength that we have this year, I do believe, is up front.
New Heights will rely on their seniors to make big impacts on and off the field, and one of those key veterans is quarterback Corbin Cronowet. This will be his 1st season under center, but he's been a starter for the Cougars the past couple of seasons.
Mindset going into each game is just being a leader, encouraging the guys, because they can, it's a team sport. We got to support each other as much as possible. Just be supportive and have fun while at it, because live life with no regrets.
Putting my hardest work in, because in the Bible it says work everything with your heart. If you're your hardest, and that's just how this team operates. You got to give our hardest every practice.
The Cougars kick off their season on the road against Ridge Hill on Friday, August 29th. And the wait is over. The 30th edition of the Pigskin Preview is now live. You can scan the QR code on your screen. Head to KOAMnews.com/pigskin or download our free KOAM News mobile app to view it. And when you're there, you'll see logos for all of our teams showcased in the preview, ranging from the high schools in Missouri, Kansas, and Oklahoma to the junior colleges and universities in our region. You'll see quotes from coaches, schedules, season outlooks, and much more. And as the season starts, you'll find our live scoreboard to keep you updated on the action every Friday night. You'll also find highlights as we hit the ground running to area games. Well, the Royals and Cardinals are hot to start the week. Those sights set on keeping it going as St. Louis entered Wednesday with a shot at a sweep, while the Royals look to secure their series against the Rangers. The Cardinals looking to complete the sweep off the Miami Marlins, but fall short with a 6-2 loss in the finale. Lars Nootbaar led the way with the multi-hit performance and RBI on the day. Andres Pellante struggled in his 5 and 3 and a third innings, surrendering 5 runs in the loss. Cards battle the Rays tomorrow night. And the Royals looking for their 6th straight win to secure their 4-game set against Texas and are currently tied in the 9th inning. 3-3, Vinny Pasquinto hitting another home run, his 3rd straight game-going yard. We'll have an update later on in this Royals game as they move on with the game and half of the wild card. Well, on Wednesday yesterday, the Chiefs parted ways with wide receiver Sky Moore, trading the former 2nd-round draft pick and a 2027 7th-round draft pick to the San Francisco 49ers for a 2027 6th-round draft pick. Now, in his 3 years with the Chiefs, Moore tallied 43 receptions for 494 yards and a touchdown. That's a look at sports this morning. Stick around. We'll be right back. The Mississippi River Gulf outlet, once dubbed a hurricane highway, remains without a finalized restoration plan nearly 20 years after Katrina. The Army Corps of Engineers says it's close to an agreement, but not quite there yet. Local leaders and environmentalists say full-scale wetland restoration is long overdue to protect St. Bernard Parish and New Orleans. Well, Texas Democrats are speaking out loudly against a redistricting plan. They say silences voters and undermines democracy. From state senators to congressmen, party leaders are defending Representative Nicole Claire, who refused a round-the-clock police escort after a walkout over the plan. With rallies and promises of legal action, Democrats say the battle over the map may be lost in the Capitol, but not in the courts.
And we've got a pretty decent day, seasonably hot as we head into the afternoon. Clear skies for us through the morning hours, low 70s to start, and about, about the mid 80s by 11 o'clock this morning. Just a few clouds this afternoon. Highs right about where they should be, heading for about 90 degrees today. We still are going to be a bit muggy, so we could get some heat index values upwards of, say, the mid 90s. So nothing extreme, but still a bit uncomfortable. We'll have a northeast breeze at around 5 to 10 miles an hour. Into the evening we go. We'll eventually fall back into the upper 70s by 10. Just a few clouds. That'll continue overnight, but take a look at that low. Low to mid 60s tonight, so well below average. Winds will be calm, and that will continue as we head into the weekend and next week. Now, initially, our highs, at least, are going to be on par for normal, low 90s, so hot, but not too crazy. Then we get some pop-up storm chances as we roll into Saturday. Our lows still below average, and take a look. Sunday, upper 80s. And then we get a boundary in. It's going to bring us some shower and storm chances by Monday and Tuesday, maybe even into Wednesday. That puts our lows back into the 50s last week of August, and it is really going to feel more like the first week of October. We'll go into the upper 70s and low 80s. Temperatures dropping back overnight into the 50s and 60s, so pretty darn cool, but hey, nothing to complain about after the last couple of weeks of heat. Let's check your forecast. We've got another hour of the KOAM Morning News right after this.